Good morning. Today I wanted to kind of walk you guys through how I make one of my like bestsellers. It's a Disney tag that it's like this. The one I'm gonna do has a Mickey Mouse castle on it. Or a castle with mouse ears on it. And then the family name, and you can choose like your background color, your castle color. You can even customize it with like name on the balloons if you'd like. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to make those. So you will need fabric, some sort of quilt batting. I like to use the adhesive quilt batting. That way I just heat press it to my background. And then I'll stitch it out. And I also use foam to give it a little more substance. So it's flexible, easily packed, but it's not going to be heavy. It's not going to get folded, like ruined. And then I also put a fabric on the back of it just to go with the whole look. I also designed it with ribbon holes in it so that you just put the ribbons through the holes, you tie it to the stroller, you walk it around, park it when you have to park it, and your stroller is just easy to find because you have a tag on it with your name on it. So I'm going to go cut the fabric for that, and then I will walk you guys through the different steps. All right, so this customer wanted to do a red background. So got my red fabric. The castle is the same fabric as the back cover. So I've got my fabric for the castle, and then I've got my piece for the back. Got my foam piece as well, and then I'm going to put my quilt batting on the back of my red fabric. And then I'm going to hoop a piece of tearaway stabilizer. So I'm gonna go do that and I'll be back. Okay, so cutaway stabilizer is hooped. Just gonna place that here. I've got the quilt batting with the adhesive side. It's just kind of like pokey, I guess, so you can tell the difference. One side's soft, one side's pokey. I'm gonna press this and make it straight, or I like get the creases out. And then for the castle piece, I'm also going to put heat and bond on the back of it, just to ensure that it's going to do right. Just press the quilt batting to the top fabric for like 10 seconds, just so that it's not going to move. And then my design pretty much takes, it's like I think it's about 9 by 7. So I just pretty much center my top fabric, and I'm gonna let that, the first stitch gives me my outline and my castle for my applique. So I'm gonna go do my heat and bond for my applique while this does the first stitch. And you should always make sure your hoop is actually in the machine because that could have been really bad. Luckily, it was just a little bit forward. All right, keep going. All right, so I did it in red, but so I've got my outline. I'm just gonna place my heat and bond over the castle part, my heat and bonded fabric. And then I will stitch the castle part. So this is actually large enough for two castles. So I'm basically going to line it up at the bottom with where the castle starts. I didn't do the heat and bond long enough, but okay, so we line it up at the bottom. I'm going to I have a little handheld like Cricut style heat press. So I'm going to heat press this down once it's done. So even though not all of the heat and bond is adhered because I didn't do it long enough, it won't matter because I'm going to heat it after it's done. So then we trim it. Alright, so I heat pressed just this area, so it is heat and bonded both sides now. And I stuck the backing back onto that piece and redid it, so then I'll be able to use it for the next order that I get. So the rest is just stitching pretty much until we get to the end. So I'm gonna trade out, I need to put black in here. I'm gonna add black and then I'm just gonna let it stitch. All right, so this is what it will look like. Your back, let's see if I can turn this. Your back still isn't done, so that's the next part. So I put in a piece of foam. I just put it straight onto the back, and I will actually just hold it in place while, oh, sorry for the shaking, while it stitches. You've got your back foam piece, and then once your foam is stitched on, you're going to get your back piece. I forgot to heat press this. I'm gonna press it real quick just to get it straight. All right, so you can use like that sticky spray. I'm currently out of that, and I haven't bought more off Amazon, so easy. You can get like a sticker or tape, and I just tape the corners down, and I make sure that there aren't any bubbles. So you just kind of flatten it out and tape it down. Now I just do the edges because I don't want the sticker or the tape to be sewn in. So I'm gonna repeat that last step so it does the same stitch with the back fabric on. And then I'm also going to hold this piece just to make sure there aren't any bubbles. All right, so you've got your front and your back is now done as well. So then you're going to cut along the outer edge on both sides. So we are done. These will be the ribbon holes. We will take the cutaway or tearaway off. So then we're gonna trim threads. I'm gonna try and get as close to the stitching as you can. And you're only doing that top layer and the quilt batting. And then when you do the back, you're gonna do the back layer and the foam. So you're gonna get your scissor up under there and get that foam. But that tearaway is going to stay in there because it keeps you from going too far and cutting your stitches for your hole. And then you're just gonna pop that out. Just personal preference, don't like, sometimes the tearaway will leave like little like flyaways. So I just run a flame over it and it'll like, I guess, retract it or singe it. And I do inside the holes too, just to get any possible pieces coming in of the tearaway. And I do 3-foot ribbon, and I singe the edges so that they don't unravel. And whoop. And then this part just ties to the strollers. So that is how I make my Disney tags. Let me know if you guys have any questions.